All right, we are back, and today on the Danny Cut, June 8th, 2026, we are ranking. It's Spielberg week. We got Disclosure Day coming out this Thursday. Uh, I'm pretty excited for the film, but today we are ranking me and DC, each respectively, our 10 best Spielberg movies in order. Like and subscribe. Let's roll. All right. DC, you ready to rock and roll?
I'm ready. I got my list.
All right. I guess since it is my channel, I guess I will go first and lead it off. Okay?
I want to preface something before you start.
Go ahead. Go
you
ahead.
don't mind.
Yep.
Don't judge me. Haven't seen all of Steven Spielberg's movies. I don't know what your top 10 list is going to be, as you don't know mine. We haven't spoken about this yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was born in the 80s, but I pretty much grew up in the 90s. So
Yeah.
you'll hear my top 10, and I don't want anyone to kill me in the comments, basically, for leaving some movies out. So
right.
There, done. Go for it.
All right. Well, I guess the vlog is over. Thanks for tuning in. No, all right. So I'm actually, I just grabbed the yellow pad because I have it on the computer, but I want to be writing it down in front of me so that I don't lose track. Okay. At the 10 spot, I'm going to rank a movie that when I first saw it, it came out in 2012. I for one, and again, you guys are going to learn this about me. I'm a big history fan. I love history, especially anything that is American Revolution, American Civil War, World War II, World War I, all that era. Obviously, from the inception of the country all the way up to present time, I am a huge fan of. And any movies associated with history, I'm typically going to be all in on it. So again, at the 10 spot, I remember when I heard this movie was being made, I said, "There's no way, right? There's no way that I'm going to walk into a movie theater and believe that Daniel Day-Lewis is Abraham Lincoln." This movie came out in 2012, and 10 minutes sitting in the theater. I remember I saw this movie alone in Main Street, which is a local theater in Miami, Florida.
Don't go there.
What?
Don't go there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not.
If you haven't been.
Very much past its heyday. But it is the theater I grew up going to. Is the theater where I fell in love with movies. So yeah, it's a movie that Tony Kushner was on the script. One of the greatest writers, not only in theater but in film history. A very frequent collaborator with Steven Spielberg, and Lincoln is just one of those movies that I could not believe. 10 minutes in, I was like, I forgot that's Daniel Day-Lewis playing Lincoln.
Yeah.
Some really cool scenes with Ulysses S. Grant, sort of seeing how Lincoln managed the dynamics, the politics of that time. Tommy Lee Jones does a great job. Gordon-Levitt, Sally Field, all of them. One of the greatest historical films of all time. Lincoln is at the 10th spot. Your turn, DC. What is your number 10?
Yeah, I just want to give you some feedback on Lincoln. Lincoln, definitely probably one of the most important times in our history, American history especially. But that's a great pick at number 10. Obviously, I know your love for Daniel Day-Lewis, one of the GOATs for sure. So respect to number 10. My number 10 is going to be a little different, but certainly deservedly so, I think, at least for me, and especially the type of movies that I enjoy. But before I do that, I want to do something real quick. So give me 1 second. It's going to be part of why I'm reviewing this movie.
Okay.
It's not obvious yet.
Wow.
Ready Player One is going to be my number 10. Where are my headphones? All right, there we go.
Yeah.
All right. Spielberg actually filmed most of this movie in VR. Okay.
Wow.
So I think it's only fair that I do my my number 10 Ready Player One using VR.
That's incredible. Derek, take that off, please. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, I am gonna take it off because I can't see anything.
It's okay. Thank you. We got the point, Derek. Thank you. No, I'm kidding.
All right.
Yes.
Set in a dystopian 2045. Starring Ty Sheridan, which 60% of this movie is in the Oasis, which is where the movie mainly takes place, which is in the VR world. Um, it's basically a impoverished and overpopulated real world set in 2045, which I mentioned already. James Halliday. Okay, there you go. So James Halliday is the creator of the Oasis, and he once he dies, he actually leaves an Easter egg behind. And basically, the premise of the movie is everyone that's in the Oasis has to find these Easter eggs in order to find the key to eventually control the Oasis. So that's the main. Visually, it's nominated for best VFX. Didn't win, but certainly deserved of the nomination. So at number 10, I had Ready Player One. Again, probably not one of Spielberg's best movies. I might have seen 10 of Spielberg's movies, so this kind of gets in there just by default. But certainly deserved of you know to at least be mentioned in a top 10 for Spielberg, at least for me. But anyway, yeah, that's number 10 for me. And I know you appreciate the one scene where he references The Shining. So
Yeah.
that was pretty fun. And I don't know if you know this, but they went through a production nightmare trying to get all the licenses to put all the characters in this movie in there. So interestingly enough, it took them several years, and most of the movies that they reference are actually Spielberg's movies, 80s movies that Spielberg directed in the 1980s. So that's an interesting point right off the bat. And he actually omitted a lot of the movies that he had put in there originally because he didn't want to make it seem like he was just gonna, showing off his filmography. So yeah, man, at number 10, Ready Player One for me. And yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm a Ready Player One fan. It was one of those movies that I said, I don't know if this is gonna do it for me. I remember when I went to go watch it, I was kind of like, I don't know, the video game world, and obviously there's an action scene in that movie that blows you away.
Was just gonna. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, the opening drag race scene in the very first 20 minutes of the movie, it's probably the best racing scene of any movie that I've ever seen. Sound wise, it's a treat to actually sit in the movie theater and experience that. So, it was pretty incredible the way they did it, and the pop culture in this movie is just like I said, second to none, and it's definitely a marvel to watch.
Awesome, man. All right. Well, at the 9th spot, I'm gonna go with a movie that you typically don't see get into Spielberg's top 10 of all time. But again, a movie that when I
Sorry about that.
watched it, you're good?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. So a movie that again formed was came out in 2005, and it really uh was a movie that was released during my formidable years. I was 19 years old. So again, uh when you match Spielberg with Aliens, it's typically a good result. Obviously, Close Encounter of the Third Kind, E.T. So when you match him with Aliens, he's for some reason he's really good at delving into that world. Another reason why I'm excited for Disclosure Day, which I'll be watching this upcoming Thursday. But again, I'm talking about War of the Worlds 2005 with Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, in my opinion, one of the most underrated actors of all time. From an acting standpoint, yes, he's considered maybe the greatest action star of all time. Of course, with the Mission Impossibles and the Top Guns and all that. But this movie has great action scenes. The family dynamic in the movie was really believable for me. The aliens or the alien creatures or the I don't know what they're called, the tripods, I believe they're called, are absolutely terrifying, right? So like imagine these gigantic things that look scaly and long, almost snake-like, and they shoot laser beams and turn you into dust, right? Doesn't get much scarier than that. And they're very much snake-like because you remember the scenes where they're like looking for him in the building, like in the house, right? And
Yes.
it's just
Yeah.
snaking their way through. That was pretty terrifying. nobody to me can amplify tension and action the way that Tom Cruise can. So again, at the ninth spot, I'm gonna go ahead and go War of the Worlds. I know a lot of times it doesn't make people's top 10 Spielberg list, but I love that movie. It's a popcorn movie. So DC, what's your number nine?
Yeah, War of the Worlds definitely deserve it too. I enjoyed that movie very much, but it didn't make it into my top 10. My number 9 movie is actually going to be a movie called Munich, starring Eric Bana and Daniel Craig. A quick side note about Daniel Craig. This he actually was announced right after this movie released to be the new James Bond. So just an interesting fact. After this movie, he was obviously the Bond, at least for my generation. Um, the movie obviously well, obviously not. It does take place in 1972 when the Olympics were taking place and 11 Israeli athletes were taken hostage by a Palestinian terror group named Black September. And Eric Bana plays who was actually chosen to be a Mossad agent who basically goes on a manhunt to search for these terrorists, pretty much. The movie is very controversial for obvious reasons. A lot of the backlash of this movie was how accurate it was to the events that actually took place. But I don't watch movies for their entertainment, excuse me, for their historical value. If I wanted to watch any of that, I would probably see a documentary. I watch it for the entertainment value. So this movie is absolutely entertaining, and it's one of Spielberg's best. So at number 9 for me, Munich. And another side note, the movie actually was never shot in Munich. The movie was shot in Malta. Most of it was shot in Malta, and yeah. So a couple things about that movie that I felt were really important to modern day terrorism and things like that, which I won't get too into. But there's a scene at the end of the movie that actually Spielberg shot on purpose. Is of the World Trade Center towers, which were obviously around in the 70s when this took place. But he did it intentionally to use the imagery as a heavy and deliberate visual metaphor, almost as a warning to the audience watching the movie about all the consequences of geopolitical conflicts and things like that. So very deep, very very emotional movie, a great score, but yeah, number 9 for me is Munich. So
Good choice. Yeah. So who cares about that? So my number, no, I'm kidding. Okay, yes, Munich, obviously very powerful. Obviously, that's a movie that hits home, I'm sure, very closely to Steven Spielberg, being of the Jewish faith. So again,
yeah.
excellent selection, an incredible story, an incredible true story. So awesome. Okay, at the 8th spot, I'm gonna go with a film that, in my opinion, features the GOAT of acting, my favorite actor. If you know who I'm talking about, then you definitely know who I am. It's a movie about deception. It's a movie about being a con artist. It's a movie that is a 100% true story. And of course, I'm talking about the 2002's Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio, a very young Leonardo DiCaprio who is just coming off, I believe, another favorite film of mine, which is Gangs of New York. You have Tom Hanks playing Special Agent. God, I forgot his name. Well, he's playing the FBI agent, and he's after Leonardo DiCaprio, who's playing Frank Abagnale Jr. And yeah, man, it's just one of those very charismatic films. You have John Williams creating a score that is not very atypical of what he does. The Indiana Joneses, the Jurassic Parks, these big epic scores that hit you emotionally. This score is very much more subtle with a little bit of saxophone, very small violin, a little piano. But again, an incredible true story about a guy who was basically creating fake checks and living this lifestyle that wasn't real. He actually did pretend to be a pilot and sat in the cockpit. He didn't actually fly the plane, but again, and it's continuing on Spielberg's uh, uh, constant theme of the broken family. And if people don't know this, Frank Abagnale Jr. actually went on to work with the FBI as a consultant. Um, and he consulted Google and all these. The video of where he's consulting Google is on YouTube. So again, he fixed up his life, and just an incredible story, man. And that's the thing about Spielberg; he always finds the great stories. So yeah, at the eighth spot, I'm gonna go ahead and put Catch Me If You Can, and just one of those roles that DiCaprio will always be remembered for sure.
Yeah, that's a good choice. May or may
All
not be on my list. We'll have to wait and see.
right, go
Uh,
ahead.
at my number 8, is actually going to be a movie where Christian Bale actually began his a young 12-year-old Christian Bale began his movie career, and it's called Empire of the Sun. Um, and Spielberg actually wasn't the first choice to make the movie, and eventually they chose him. They wanted to get David Lean, who actually was the director of Lawrence of Arabia, if you know about that movie, with
Yeah.
Spielberg actually producing. Ultimately, Spielberg jumped on the directing role and did a magnificent job. The movie is World War II, where a young boy who lives in Shanghai with his parents, a very fortunate boy at the time, um, who is eventually separated from his parents, and where the Japanese, basically take him and separate his parents from him. Um, Following the Pearl Harbor attack, when
Yeah.
the Japs started to invade an international settlement, um, and basically Christian Bale's character, the young boy, became completely fascinated with the fighter planes and aviation that the Japanese used. The film has a great score. It's a very coming of age story as well. Um, and yeah, so for me, number 8, I saw this. My brother actually recommended this movie to me a very long time ago. He said, "Hey, you like Christian Bale? You like Batman? Yada yada yada." Yeah, he knows my love for Christian Bale. He goes, "Why don't you watch the first movie he ever did? It's called Empire of the Sun." So shout out to my brother Dave. Thanks for recommending the movie. The movie's fascinating. So I definitely recommend the watch if you haven't seen it. Empire of the Sun, number 8 for me.
Good one. Good selection. Full disclosure, I've never watched that movie, but I've heard some really, really great things that it's one of Spielberg's more underrated films.
Yeah.
Christian Bale, even at that young age, it sounds like he was already giving iconic performances. And yeah, he's definitely a top 10 actor in Hollywood. No doubt about it. Okay. At the 7th spot for me, we're going to revisit again the sci-fi genre, in which Spielberg obviously has pioneered. Um, a movie that displays Spielberg not only his ability to shoot action scenes, but also to build that tension, and to work with themes that are relevant to the to not only to present day but to the future. And that, of course, is 2002's Minority Report with Tom Cruise. Again, this is one of those movies that you have both Spielberg and Tom Cruise at the height of their powers in 2002. It's based off of a Philip K. Dick short story. The production consulted a think tank um, to predict 2054's technology. Seeing all my notes here, and again, it deals with philosophical themes of free will versus determinism. So again, very much prevalent in today's world, with kind of like the direction that AI is going versus your own free will. We are monitored 24/7, very akin to the Minority Report story. And it's pretty freaky that even in 2002, they were already predicting that. The ending of this movie is absolutely heart pounding. You have Tom Cruise, saying, well, he's kind of like telling the I guess the antagonist in the film not to shoot him, and I believe, if I remember correctly, he does. So it's just a heart pounding movie, and one of the best movies of Tom's career and Steven's, and yeah, man, I would love a sequel to this movie.
Yeah, great movie.
Yeah.
Another gem from two guys, pretty much that are the best at their craft. Obviously, Spielberg directing and Tom Cruise acting in an action movie, and that's actually my number 7 as well.
Yeah.
Minority Report. Yeah,
Wow.
we could use some of that pre crime,
Oh yeah.
um,
Yeah.
technology nowadays for sure. But some of the things that actually were successfully predicted technologies are things like gesture-based computing, which do exist, personalized targeting, advertising, autonomous self-driving cars. As you know, they're already out there. Um, Biometric eye scanning, and voice-controlled homes. All these things nowadays, with everything, moving into the smart um, category. Now everything is smart this, smart that. So a couple things that they did in that movie that were pretty brilliant that actually came true. But yeah, number 7 for me. I have nothing else to say. You pretty much nailed it on the head with number 7. It's both our number 7s, I should say. Minority
Wow.
Report. So
All right, man. Moving on to number 6, and if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. We just started this channel. We're gonna be me and DC. We're gonna be getting other people on. So please, help us grow. Okay, at the 6th spot, I'm gonna put a movie that to me defines the magic of movies, and you're gonna start hearing that word a little bit more as we get into the list, into some of the films that I consider Spielberg masterpieces. And if you learn something from me, you'll learn that I don't throw around that word lightly. Masterpiece to me has to be a movie that hits in 3 spots: in the feels, right? So it has to evoke emotion. Um, it has to make you think, and ultimately it's a movie that entertains, right? All at a 10 out of 10 level. So for me, at the 6th spot, Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark 1981 is one of those movies. Fun fact, I love collecting movie posters, original movie posters. An original 1981 Raiders of the Lost Ark poster, just the poster right now, is about $1,500. So just to give you a little bit of sense of how popular this movie is. Originally, it wasn't Harrison Ford that Spielberg wanted for the role. Not Spielberg, excuse me. The studio wanted Tom Selleck, not Harrison Ford, who it inevitably went to. The script was actually created by George Lucas, nominated for 8 Academy Awards. Um, and it's just a movie that blends. It was sort of the beginning of the modern way to blend humor and serious action, or a serious plot line. The movie is about adventure. It's about I mean, Indiana Jones almost like he's almost like a pirate, just kind of making his way through and barely surviving these escapades. But it's just one of those. And then again, you get the John Williams score, the bam, ba-dum, bam, bam, ba-dum, right? So it's movies. You know what I mean? When you hear that soundtrack, when you watch this movie, it's 10 out of 10, all of them. So to me, it's one of his first masterpieces. Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark at the 6th spot. DC.
all right, good number 6. Yeah. Number 6 for me is gonna be a movie I watched growing up. And it's one of my favorite Robin Williams movies. It's Hook. Obviously, he plays Peter Pan in this movie, an older Peter Pan, no longer in Neverland. And he visits Wendy, who is the original Wendy from Neverland, and she is trying to get him to remember about him being Peter Pan, but he's much grown up already. He's got a family, and he's kind of forgotten about that life he used to live. So ultimately, the story involves him going back to Neverland eventually, by Hook, who's played by Dustin Hoffman, who did an incredible job because I was terrified of him as a kid.
Mm.
John Williams score. You're going to hear John Williams a lot in this
Oh yeah.
video.
Oh yeah. For sure.
I think I read somewhere where Steven Spielberg has only worked maybe 3 movies that John Williams has not scored for him. So
Wow.
you can fact check me on that, but I think that's the number. It's a very low number, I know for sure, and I think 3 might be it. But anyway, um, so yeah, basically it is the ultimate sacrifice because he is a father now in this movie. So he does go back and he tries to remember being Peter Pan. Ultimately, he gets rejected by the Lost Boys, who are the young boys that stayed in Neverland because they don't believe him to be Peter Pan until he finally remembers. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen this movie. What are you doing? But yeah, the movie
Yeah.
was released in 1991, and yeah, I mean Robin Williams, I mean Julia Roberts as Tinkerbell, does a great job, and the movie I believe was nominated for Academy Awards, but yeah, the movie ultimately was a little bit of a critical failure. If people don't know that, but apparently Steven Spielberg himself didn't like the way the movie ended. I guess the climax he wasn't too happy with, for whatever reason. But I enjoyed it growing up, and I think it's one of his best. And for me, it's number 6 because I could watch that movie on repeat. So
Yeah. The score for that movie is awesome. My favorite track on the score is, I believe it's called "Becoming the Pan" or one of those.
yeah,
It's basically when Robin Williams becomes Peter Pan.
yeah, yeah. I know
So
it's exactly one you're talking about,
yeah,
and
yeah, incredible,
it plays
incredible.
perfectly in the movie. It's
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, and it hits you right in the feels. So that's
yeah,
what's important. So yeah, Hook, underrated classic of Spielberg. And a movie that I think was unjustly panned by the critics.
no
I
pun
think,
intended there.
yeah, yeah, for real. I just so so you know they should have hooked it up and made it more. Yeah, so
All right.
but overall, again, it's a movie that I think the studio got involved and made him do things that maybe he didn't want to do.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. I'm alleging that, of course. Um, okay, at the 5 spot, this is a movie that Quentin Tarantino called the greatest film of all time. He said, number one, it invented the modern blockbuster. Uh, Filming was scheduled for 55 days, and it took 159 days to make the movie. I'm gonna give you a hint. You ready? Da dun da dun da dun da dun. Right, did I do it good or no? Throw in the
Yeah,
movie.
no, it's
All
not
right,
bad.
so
It's not bad. It's actually
uh,
just 2 notes. John
yeah,
Williams used 2 notes to make that. And
wow.
I'll wait for you to finish and then I'll go ahead.
All right. So again, I am not as big as a Jaws fan as everybody else, but I am gonna call it a masterpiece because whenever a movie can cause the kind of panic for people to go in the ocean, I actually spoke to my mother recently, and she said yes, when that movie came out, everybody was scared to go in the ocean.
Yes. And she
I
was
think
right.
people are still scared to go in the ocean because of that movie.
Bro, I'm
Uh,
scared to go in the pool sometimes because I
yeah.
think about what's beneath my feet. So yes.
Right, right. No, I get scared to go in the ocean because I don't want to scare all the other like sharks and stuff that I'm in there.
Oh, okay,
So
gosh. Yeah.
it's just a natural predator thing. So they get a little bit spooked. So I'm like, oh yeah, take it easy. I'm not gonna hurt you. So, but besides that, I enjoy Jaws. My favorite scene, which Spielberg just recently admitted is also his favorite scene. He admitted that now on an episode of the Rewatchables with Bill Simmons. Great interview, I may add. They dive into Kubrick's 2001: Space Odyssey, which we will definitely be doing a lot of Kubrick on this channel. Um, it's the USS Indianapolis scene with Robert Shaw. God, I'm forgetting. And God, what's his name?
Richard Dreyfuss,
Richard Dreyfuss, and then the other guy, the one that plays
Roy
the
Schneider.
sheriff, Roy Schneider. Okay, good one. Yes, thank you. Um, that scene is just the brilliance of it is cannot be overstated. The creepy boat, it's at night, it's an actual real story that happened, which is absolutely insane. it was tiger sharks. And when Robert Shaw looks at the camera and he goes, you can see the eyes black and they tan over. And it's just, man, that scene for me is just like movie magic. It's just, you can't put it any
Yeah.
other, and terrifying. You know, I mean, can you imagine being in that water in the middle of the night with 10, 15-foot tiger sharks just gnawing at you? So again, for me, I'm gonna put Jaws at the 5 spot, 1975.
Yeah. Yeah. Spielberg did something when he involved these creatures, historical and currently living, or I should say, extinct, because we're gonna get to that soon, and currently still living, like the great white. Yeah, I remember watching this movie and I didn't even want to get in the pool, let alone
Yeah,
the ocean. So he and by the way, the mechanical shark that they named Bruce in this movie,
yes,
when they tested him in fresh water and everything, I guess, was going pretty kosher until they dropped him in the salt water, and that's when the hysteria began, because they hadn't, done that yet. They never tested it in salt water. That's actually a fun fact. And once they dropped it into the Martha's Vineyard where they filmed the movie, the thing started to corrode apparently, and all the mechanism, the hydraulic mechanisms, the shark sank, bunch of malfunctions and craziness that occurred on that set. So this was a nightmare of a kind of production for Spielberg, but ended up being one of the most um, you know successful movies
yeah,
to ever be shot, and grossed over 100 million at the box office, established an entire blueprint of modern theatrical wide releases. So easily one of the best Spielberg films. We're in top 5 territory now. So, and by the way, this movie is a masterpiece,
yeah.
whether you agree or not. But
No, I agree. I agree.
this was 100%, you know easily a top 5 for me. So
Nice,
uh
nice. But why were you scared to go in the pool?
it's
Because
just
it's just,
just the idea of being in the water,
yeah,
and as a kid growing up, you remember they used to make pools that were 12 feet deep, very deep, these big diving pools we used to
yes,
swim in. And sometimes you couldn't look down. I never used goggles growing up, so I didn't know it was beneath my feet, and I would
uh,
be scared. It was just that feeling of being in the water and treading water, and not knowing um what's under you. So
I got you. Okay, well, all right. So now we're gonna enter the top 4. See how I'm rubbing my hands here? Because I'm coming with the fire, baby.
bring
All
it.
right. At the 4 spot, I'm gonna pick a movie that defined the 80s. I'm gonna pick a movie that all of us go back to our childhood, when, especially if you're an 80s baby, if you're a millennial, if you were born, even the boomers, I'm sure can relate to this movie. Uh, this movie is very personal for Spielberg because it continues with the feelings of isolation, especially that he experienced during his parents' divorce. Uh, Again, nominated for a bunch of different awards. And of course, I'm talking about E.T. So I'm talking
Sorry.
about E.T. 1982, um, a movie that is certainly not my sort of genre that I gravitate towards, but it's undeniable. The emotion you feel when ET uh, looks like he's gonna be dead, and he comes back. The score by John Williams, when they're it's called the flying scene, or flying in the soundtrack, and you see them flying past the moon and trying to evade the federal government. Uh, you can't deny the magic of this movie. Highly emotional. You have a young Drew Barrymore, and again, one of those movies like Back to the Future that defined the 80s, and Indiana Jones. So for me, at the 4 spot, going E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial.
Yeah, did you hack my top 10 list?
No.
because
It's
I
just that,
swear,
yeah.
I swear we're on almost the same trajectory here, which
No, it's fine.
I'm a little worried. But yeah, 1982's E.T. Extra-Terrestrial. Actually, not recently, I would say a few years ago. I watched it again with my wife, and I can't get over the score, the John Williams score in this movie. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's just
Like
like
that, yeah.
it reminds you of the ride too. Getting on that ride and hearing that theme, it just hits you like, to use your words, in the feels.
Yeah.
Um, Drew Barrymore in the movie, so young. And yeah, ET, again, you hit all the notes on your number four, so it is my number four as well. And yeah, one of Spielberg's best. So
Yeah. E.T. is one of those movies that, to me, man, when you watch it, it's so, like, if you were to make a top 10 most nostalgic movies,
yeah,
for me, it's on there because it reminds you of your childhood and the innocence of being a child,
right. It's the perfect
you know?
kind of fish out of water story with the alien who's obviously not from here,
Yeah.
and you have this young boy, this innocent young boy who obviously has a tremendous heart,
Yeah.
attempting to protect him, as one of his own. So yeah, ET masterclass.
Okay. And also made a ton of money. So, all right. At the 3 spot, again, pretty much for me, from the 6 spot, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, all the way down, all masterpieces, in my opinion. And I don't know of many directors that have 6 masterpiece movies. It's a lot.
Yeah,
At the 3 spot, we're gonna go with a film that, I mean, again, in my opinion,
please don't be my number three. Please don't be my number three.
John Williams' best score, edging out my number one.
I
And
think
Spielberg said that John Williams' best score is my number one. But to me, this just slightly edges out
can
number
I
one.
guess? Can I guess it?
Go.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. All right. All right. No, now it's gonna be good where we see 1 and 2. Because if you don't have the same 1 and 2 as me, I don't know what to tell you about your list. Pero
Yeah.
all right, Jurassic Park, what can we say, right? I mean,
Yeah.
one of the greatest films of all time. You look at the Jurassic Worlds from today and you're like, man, we
Yeah,
really fallen off.
yeah. You know
Um,
what? You know it's a good movie when they've made 12 other Jurassic Parks and worlds, and it's
yeah,
still the best.
yeah. Terrifying movie. I would not want to be on Isla Nubar, I believe it's called. I
Isla
believe the movie
Nublar,
was, yeah, I believe the movie was filmed in
Hawaii.
Hawaii, or I think parts 2 in Costa Rica, if I'm not mistaken. But just
Might
again,
be right.
define. Yeah, I mean, incredible. He has movies that define the 80s, and this movie also helped define the 90s.
Yeah.
Grossed over $900 million in 1993.
Yeah.
Adjusted for inflation, I can only imagine how much that is. Again, based on the book by Michael Crichton. It's obviously the T-Rex modernized visual effects, and it pioneered CGI. I don't know if people know that, but one of my favorite films, certainly in my top 50-ish, 40-ish films of all time. So again, Jurassic Park, can't say much about it, man. One of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, it was nominated. It's also my number 3, if we haven't made that obvious yet. Again,
Yeah.
one thing about these top 10s that we're going to probably talk about, or down the road, we're going to have more top 10s. A lot of these movies might be repeated.
Yeah.
So, it's just going to be mostly us talking about how great these films are. It was this one in particular, Jurassic Park, was nominated for 3 Academy Awards and won them all. Okay. It won every single one. It was best sound, best visual effects, and best sound effects editing. So, deservedly so. They actually built a life-size, 20-foot tall, 9,000-pound T-Rex.
Wow.
that they used practically in the movie, mainly in the scene where they're in the cars and everything starts to shut down, um, with the kids in the car and the T-Rex starts to, do his thing. But yeah, I mean, probably my favorite trio of actors in a movie: Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum, and Laura Dern. The things that they do in the movie. Listen, Spielberg. At the end of the day, he made me believe that dinosaurs exist. Okay, and when you can do something like that is completely,
Yeah.
magical. The way that he made these extinct animals come to life. So
Yeah.
yeah, easily number three, and it could arguably be anywhere in the top three.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be mad at that. So
All right. Awesome. So at the 2 spot now, I'm gonna pick a movie that uh gave me a very, and again, I will never say this. I will never say that I understand what war is like, but
ah,
but it gives
all
you
right.
a
Where's the
really,
camera, man? Where'd you put the
yeah,
camera?
yeah, it
Where is
gives
it?
you a really good understanding of why you don't want to be in a war. Especially one that is set, I guess you could say it's modern times. It's post gunpowder, obviously. So, of course, I'm talking about Saving Private Ryan, highly emotional film. You have Matt Damon, a young Matt Damon. You have Tom Hanks at the top of his powers, Tom Sizemore. You have even a young Vin Diesel in there, a young Barry Pepper. Uh, a very powerful film. John Williams um, creating the hymn, which is one of the best John Williams scores. Um, so, in my opinion, the World War II generation is the greatest generation of all time. Uh, I'll never forget they were interviewing the Buffalo Bills coach, Coach Levy. Coach Levy, I believe his name was, and a reporter asked him. This was back in the '90s. The coach for the Bills, and he goes, are you concerned with a win or loss that you just had? And he goes, I'm paraphrasing. He goes, there was only one road victory that we had to win, and that was World War II. So, yeah, man, the opening scene, a lot of people don't know this, but Spielberg had a private screening. He invited a lot of the World War II veterans. Some of them had to get up. And from what I understand, it was because the opening scene made them smell the diesel fuel in the beaches of Normandy when they were there and they were having some sort of, post traumatic stress, event. So, again, totally understandable. And yeah, man, just makes you see what the price that people paid to provide the freedoms that we enjoy every day.
Yeah.
So,
Uh,
so what'd
um,
you pick for number two?
yeah, I liked it. Matter of fact, it's my number two.
Uh,
Surprisingly so.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, good thing you didn't say something else.
Yeah,
You
no.
can't leave off Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, and you can't leave off our number one, which I already know.
I know
But
you're number one.
with that said, yeah, five
West
Academy
Side Story.
Awards.
West Side Story.
Close, close. Five Academy Awards, including Best Director. I think it was his second at the time.
Yeah.
They had a hotline for veterans that actually watched this movie, and they called in to report post-traumatic stress. That's
Wow.
how accurate Steven Spielberg got with this movie. And
Yeah.
um, but yeah, number two for me, easily one of my favorite Tom Hanks performances. Him and Matt Damon killed it. Vin Diesel showing up in this movie as well. Not a lot of people remember him in this movie, but he is in this incredible masterpiece of a movie that Steven Spielberg killed. So
Yeah. And again, a lot of people don't know this, that he made this movie for his father, who was a World War II veteran.
mhm.
And this movie lost in the Academy Awards in one of the most shocking moments. You can look it up. This movie lost Best Picture to Shakespeare in Love. And I've never seen this before. I've never seen Spielberg do this, but Spielberg and Tom Hanks and all the whole crew and everybody was at the award show, and you can see it on YouTube when they announced Shakespeare in Love won. they didn't even clap. They were just like in shock that they lost,
Oh wow.
which I mean, crazy that they lost, obviously. But okay, so our number one film of Steven Spielberg all
Let's
time
just talk about it. Let's just talk about it.
for me is gonna be, of course, The Fablemans. No, I'm kidding. All right, number one for DC and I obviously is gonna be Schindler's List. Uh, you know, again, very heavy subject matter. He made this movie for his mother, who I believe did survive the Holocaust. I don't want to misspeak, but I believe she did, uh, or her family did, or something to that effect. You have Ralph Fiennes playing. Uh, I believe his name is Herman Goth, the real life Nazi war camp um, commandant, or the leader of the concentration camp.
Hmm.
The movie was shot, I believe, in 53 days. He shot it after Jurassic Park. He was tired of making Jurassic Park. He
Yeah.
was done with it, so he wanted to move on, which is crazy. He made Jurassic Park and Schindler's List in the same year. Good luck anybody doing that this year. Um, and just one of the most powerful films that you will ever watch. A
Guy,
true story.
guy was
Go
just
ahead.
different. Guy was just different, man. He
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say he, the things that he did, even um making the decision to make it in black and white, almost to make it look like a documentary.
Yeah.
It made the movie feel that much more real, um, for lack of a better term. But go ahead, finish up your.
Yeah, yeah, man, and it's one of those movies that you can actually look up people. I think this was a premiere in Germany in 93. Now, you have to remember, when people went to go see this movie in 93, it wasn't like today, where you basically watch the movie before you even go to the theater. And that's what I mean, I actively try not to watch stuff, but back then it wasn't like that. And people are coming. I mean, imagine walking into Schindler's List, right? And people in Germany, that their parents, because this is still it's 93, their parents, and maybe even their grandparents, um, were Nazi members. It's just the reality. And these people who are descendants of them coming out of the theater in complete tears, because of the level of depravity and viciousness uh, brought on by the Nazi Party, the SS, and the concentration camps, and the horrors that happened there. And to me, this movie, especially with the little girl in the red dress, you see just how horrific human beings can be to one another.
It's the
Yeah,
singular color that they use in the movie.
yeah,
This
the girl in the
only
red dress.
color that they used, which
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, and shout out to Liam Neeson, incredible role,
his
playing the
best,
real life
yeah, his best
Austin
role.
Schindler. Yeah, his best role, playing the real life, and he himself has admitted in interviews that that is when he saw the power of movies, after he made the Schindler's List, and how the world reacted to it. But yeah, man, and by the way, Spielberg was not paid to make the movie. He didn't want to take a salary to make it. Um,
I didn't know that.
yeah, yeah, incredible. And it's one of those movies that will last forever. So, yep, that's pretty much it, guys. Spielberg, again, some of his other movies that I love, Amistad. I enjoyed The Fablemans. It was cool kind of seeing his life and history. Um, what else? I haven't really watched all of West Side Story. I've heard it's really good. Um,
That's the most recent one he's come out with, right?
no, I believe The Fablemans. Let me see here. The Fablemans is a little bit sooner.
Or it's come out recently, maybe in the past 3 years.
Yeah, his last movie was another movie that's really good of his is The Terminal with Tom Hanks. Super funny, true story about the guy stuck in the airport.
Okay.
You got to watch that. Yeah, it's a good movie. But overall, man, one of the greatest directors. Comment down below. What are your top 3 Steven Spielberg movies and why? Like and subscribe. DC, any more comments?
No, that's pretty much it. But I have a twist for the top 3. You're going to comment below. It can't be our top 3.
Oh, wow. So
Make
there
it
you go.
interesting. Make it interesting.
So there you go. It can't be our top 3 in order. I guess they can switch up the the order, right? Because you
Exactly.
can't.
Yeah, they can switch it up.
It can't leave out some of those movies. But yeah, either way, thank you for watching. We're building the channel. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one.
Deuces.